Okay, so today I wanted to do a more complex complexion, so the complexion that I would do if I was going out for like a night out or something like that. So I did my basic complexion before, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to do a little bit more in-depth. So the first thing that I am going to use is I'm going to start with my primer. Whoa, as I drop it. It's again my NARS Pro Prime. The other one that I've been trying out is the Smashbox dark spot correcting one, and not necessarily because I have dark spots. I do have like 3 right here, and I actually saw one like coming through right here, which is really bizarre, but more because I like the texture and I like the finish of it. But so the first thing I'm going to do, I already have all my skincare on, and you can watch my skincare video if you wanted to see that. So I am going to prep my skin with my Pro Prime, and I love this because usually I like to let my skincare kind of soak in, but I like a nice kind of slickness to the skin. So what I used to do for a really long time was put on my foundation and then do my concealer. But lately I've been doing a little bit of concealing correcting with the Camouflage palette from Makeup Forever before I go in and do my foundation. So I'm taking a little bit of the green and I just kind of tap my brush into that, and then I flip the brush over and I take the lightest color from the palette, which is this one. Those are kind of my colors, and then I just run it kind of over the areas that I want to conceal, because I have mostly redness. Like, I don't have a lot of blemishes, but I do have a lot of redness. So then what I do is I'm gonna, and I've just been using a Sephora Pro Precision Concealer number 45. Then I'm gonna go in with the Sephora Airbrush Concealer, and I just buff that in, and it kind of takes the green down a little bit. Sometimes I'll go up into this area just so that my blush looks a little bit truer when I put it on, and really buff in those areas. And you kind of gotta give a little bit of pressure to this. I like putting it on the skin and then going back and buffing it, because this concealer has 3 different waxes in it that really warm up nicely when you apply them either with your hands or you leave it on the skin for a little bit. You can kind of just buff the excess up into any other areas that you're looking for. Just like that. Then I'm going to take my foundation. So I'm using the NARS Sheer Glow. I've been using this for a while. It's almost out actually. I can barely get any left on the pump. And I love this Tarte foundation brush. So this foundation brush smells really good because I just washed it. It's huge, and it's actually for liquid foundation. So it is meant for liquid foundation. Ugh, and I just love it. So the NARS Sheer Glow is a little bit yellow. And my skin tone on my face, my surface tone is really pink. But if you look at my chest, my undertone is actually yellow. So when I put it on my face initially, it looks like it's too yellow. But once I blend it in, it's the same color as my neck. So that's a good thing to think of too when you're picking a concealer, is surface tone and undertone. Your undertone never changes, but sometimes your surface tone changes if you get flushed or anything like that. So always good to remember. Really buffing that into the skin. I like a really real looking complexion, so not a whole lot of makeup. So that's why I love this brush, and it doesn't take a super long time either, which is awesome. So I'm just going to comb out my eyebrows just because I like to kind of make sure they stay a little bit in order. Then if you have any other spots that you're like, oh, I need a little extra concealing, you can kind of go back and do those. So the next thing I'm going to do, I actually forgot to mention that I prepped my eyes with this Touche Express Top Secret. So it's a little rollerball pen, and I prepped underneath my eyes with that. So I started there. So the next thing I'm going to use is my Dream Lumi from Maybelline, I do believe, as an under eye. And the prep that I used was for the Touche Express, but you can use it for anything. So I like to do a little bit more of like a highlight contour, and this I did in my basic video also. This is something that I love to do personally, just because I feel like it really gives my face a good highlight. So I kind of start by buffing this out. You can use your finger, you can use like the warmth of your finger and kind of push it up and in and really press it in like I talked about in my last video. Or you can kind of just like buff it in however you want, right down, sorry, the front of the nose. I'm just going to put that on, and that's going to kind of catch the light. I don't ever really contour my nose. I do have like a little bit wider of a nose, but I don't really care that much, so I don't really find that that's a problem for me. Really press it in. And the only thing that I have learned is don't use face powder underneath your eyes. That's not the only thing I've learned. That's a major thing that I've learned. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Sephora Pro Precision foundation brush, and I'm actually going to take the darker of the Makeup Forever Camo palettes, and I'm going to use this color here and this color here. I'm going to mix them just with the brush. I'm just like, these are my own personal ones, so sorry, I'm just tapping them in just like that, and then kind of putting a color on my hand, making sure it's about the right color that I want, and then I'm going to go in and contour. And this is like a paintbrush. Honestly, it is awesome. And just kind of feather all the color up, and you don't want to go too far in. And then what I like to do is take my foundation brush and just blend this up and in. So this is more of like a daytime contour where you can't see it quite as much, but it just gives you a little bit of definition. You might really see it on the camera, but I promise that in real life it does not look that intense. And I'll kind of do the outline of my face as well. And a lot of people will do the contour before the highlight, and that was one of the tips that I learned in my class, is that if you do the highlight first, you might find that you don't need to do as deep of a contour, which I thought was really cool. Maybe I'll go down the nose just because I said that I didn't. It's not really something that I do, but I like this color and I love this brush. So then I'm just going to set with powder. So this is my NARS powder, loose powder. Obviously this is not it, it's the lid. And then there's the powder puff, which I've really gotten into. So what I do is I take the powder puff on my finger, and I wash this every, like, I would say I just like throw it in the washer, like every 3 or 4 uses. If you have acne prone skin, you might want to do it every use. So I just rub it into the puff, fold it over, rub it again, and then I'm just going to press and roll this on the skin. And if I was going to use a cream blush, I would probably do it before I set with my powder. And this is just going to lock it in place all day, but you can see I still have some like trueness and some dimension to my skin. It's not like I'm just completely matte and powdered down. Then I'm just going to take a powder brush and I'm going to buff off any excess powder to make sure that I don't have any powderiness. You could spray with like a setting spray like the Caudalie Beauty Elixir or your Fix Plus or the All Nighter or anything like that to kind of take any of the powder down. But I find with this NARS powder, honestly, I don't need to, which is huge because I hate the powdery look. It's not one of my favorite looks. So I'm going to, that's pretty much it. That's my going out, like a little bit more in-depth contour and highlight. You can definitely go darker on the contour if you're going out, and I might even do like a cream contour and then go back in and like buff with a powder or something like that. definitely an option. So I'm going to throw some blush on, and then I will show you kind of like the completed look. Okay, so I just threw some blush on, and then sometimes what I'll do too, just because sometimes the highlight in here, it's a great like popping out of features highlight, but I like a little bit of shimmer on my cheek. This is By Candlelight, Mineralized Skin Finish by MAC, and I'm just going to put it right on the cheekbone. I'm not going to put it all the way around the halo kind of area. I used to do that a lot, but I just want this to catch the light. Just kind of right on this cheekbone area. So that's the completed look. Definitely I would do obviously eyes and lips, but that's the basic kind of going out complexion that I have. Thanks so much and have a wonderful day. Bye!